Real quick, before I go to Reggie, so I'm gonna go to Reggie, back to Sean, Immortal, and then Tex. Just real quick, Art, you don't need a hemp license. The license that you need, particularly specifically for marijuana, cannabis, because it has high levels of THC. CBD, hemp, that has 0.03% of THC in it. It doesn't get you high. Anybody could sell hemp. And yes, you could make clothes out of hemp or whatever. So getting into whether it's hemp, CBD, marijuana, that business, you really need to educate yourself. As far as these cannabis, these marijuana shops that are popping all over in certain cities like New York and certain cities in New Jersey, it is hard to get those licenses. And yes, white people, a lot of them are capitalizing off of it quicker and faster and higher numbers because Black people were more criminalized off it. But at the same time, I definitely do not champion, me personally, to put those stores, especially in urban areas, because the focus is you're getting high where you need to be focused on fighting for economic empowerment. So, yeah.
Can I just give a 5-second response to that? With all due respect, I don't hear nobody complain about alcohol and cigarettes, and they kill far way more people.
Yeah, well, you know what? Just to that, and you're absolutely right, and I agree with you. And the problem that I have with that, particularly in Black communities, urban areas, the hood, Black people need to put pressure on City Hall, the council people, for issuing less than 1% of licenses. So they need to put pressure on their local politicians for allowing people to easily get alcohol and cigarettes licenses to sell those things or to open up a liquor store in the neighborhood. Anybody can open up a store for whatever. A lot of people tend to open up liquor stores because they're always going to make a profit, but that is because they're allowed to have a license. Why is it in suburbia they have less liquor stores than in the hood? Because City Hall does not give out licenses hand over foot like they do in Black neighborhoods. So put pressure on your local politicians to stop giving out liquor licenses, period. We already have enough liquor stores. So that goes back to the politics. That goes back to be educating on how society is being run. Why do you see certain things? Ask yourself that. Why am I seeing a whole bunch of liquor stores on every corner? Why? How are you able to come here? You don't even live in this neighborhood. You're not even Black. These are people from other backgrounds. They are immigrants putting liquor stores in our communities. But we're not putting pressure on the politicians that allow them to do it. So again, going back to this cannabis thing, you know what I'm saying? I think we all need to educate ourselves on that and educate ourselves on public policies that are being allowed and pushed that are detrimental to our community. Reggie, then Sean, then Tex. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Reggie, and then I'm gonna go to Immortal. Then I'm gonna come to you, Sean, because he's a new speaker, and then I'll come back to you, Tex. Go ahead, Reggie.
Okay, real fast. And to what Art, my brother Art, what he said is correct. We're just tired of dealing with politics and politicians, and I think grassroots, because the disconnect has always been with it is, brother. I know Tech. I hear you thumbs down, but man, politicians, they never really spoke for the hood. And me speaking from the hood, I'm from the hood. So I come from a different diaspora. And I know that, man, we the ones be out here getting shit done. You know, I mean, in these streets, little big people be knowing, you know. So saying that, and Judge, you familiar with, you know, with the movement out here in Los Angeles.
Let me interject real quick, Reggie.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold that thought. Gotta push back a little bit. Dr. Amos Wilson, famous quote saying, "We the people are the forecasters. The politician is just the presenter." So why are you, with your comment, you don't want to deal with the politicians because they're going to do what they do? No, we tell them what to do, but we don't operate like that.
Dana, and hear me out, Dana. There's a disconnect. They never make themselves to the hood. It's what I'm saying. The disconnect, they always speaking from afar from us. They never have a connection in the hood. And what's happening now is due to the power of social media. We're finally, I mean, hell, 20 years ago, I would be watching Channel 9, KCAL, watching Judge Joe Brown. Oh no, Fox. I would never think there would be a day in my life to be sitting there talking to the judge. So what I'm saying is the power of social media is finally bringing us together where we can have these conversations and understand why some of us feel that politicians never really spoke for the hood, and they never really came down here and met us grassroots head on and say that, hey man, we got y'all interests. We taking this to Congress. No, they look like us, so they play on the black paradigm. Oh, I'm black and my black, so everybody's gonna have my back. Same with the energy Maxine Waters used out here in LA. Everybody know if you touch Maxine, you got to deal with these Crips and these Bloods. So what I'm saying to her diaspora and her movement, she used that energy to go state. Yeah, bro, she used the energy to go state to state, bullhorn, get involved, blah, blah, blah. I got the gang members behind me, all that rhetoric. Once again, using our energy, but not coming down here and really helping.
So let me ask you this, Reggie. Let me ask you this before you land.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are Black people still voting for those same politicians, the same ones you're saying that don't come down to the hood? Black people still voting. I have
no idea why are people still putting their trust in these voters. Now, I will say.
So the question is the problem the politician or the Black voters?
It's both, darling, because what I'm saying, Dana, is they don't make a connect. In essence, when they always ask for our vote and say that they're going to come to the neighborhood and we meet up, we don't get this shit done. They keep these people away because they got a lot of other folks around them don't look like us, saying that it's always a disconnect. So what I'm saying is grassroots movements like us, Crips and Bloods out there don't give a F about the vote. And we just understand that now that we're understanding now that we have to kind of step into that ring, but I'll bury that. But saying that to say, I don't think we can get all of success together. I think success is individually, and you just work with who you can work with. And what I'm finding out, and I land with this, a lot of us can't get along because we're finding out culturally there's some people tracing their lineage back to this and that. So I don't feel that a bunch of Nigerians will be receptive to me and vice versa. So it's a culture clash within our own community.
Okay, good points. Immortal. Who did I say? Sean. And before I come to you, Tex, I'm gonna let Cadillac speak. So Immortal, Sean, Cadillac, Tex, and then I'll swing back to Art. And anybody else want to request to come up? Are you still there, Judge? Judge, are you still there? Because I think he had a situation. Judge, unmute. Let me know if you still could hear me. All right. Maybe I'll try to text him on the back end. Go ahead, Immortal. Yeah.
Right on. I appreciate it. Greetings to everyone. Shout out to the host, the co-host, and all the family that's in here. Can Black Americans achieve success together? Can Black Americans achieve success together? The answer to the question is an emphatical yes. History has shown, and even present day has shown, that we can achieve success together. Someone earlier mentioned Black Wall Street. That was an emphatical success. That's why it was attacked, because it was such a rounding success. And not only was that community a rounding success with a per capita of millionaires higher than most white neighborhoods, not only was it a rounding success, there were sister towns and cities all across the nation enjoying similar success. Negro League Baseball was a rounding success. It became the premier baseball, organized baseball sports thing of its time. So much so, that also caused the powers that be to want to integrate theirs, just to compete with what they knew would be, the world standard in baseball if they had done nothing. So rounding success. I can go back to Harriet Tubman. She was successful, rounding successful for one woman to be able to orchestrate the freeing of thousands of slaves, was a rounding success. The Black Panthers worked together, rounding success, to produce community food programs, to produce community watch programs. All these rounding successes, you know. Now you want to point, somebody might want to point and say, well, those accomplishments were defeated. Well, you look at it like that because you are defeated. If you are not defeated, then you know all of these efforts continue. They all continue. If you are not defeated, you're already in your daily life working towards recreating these successes that I just mentioned. Recently, last year, there was a black town, predominantly black town right outside of Memphis that was slated for eradication by the comptroller of Tennessee and Ford and surrounding counties, slated for eradication, and it's still there. I call that a success. And I know a lot of people will say, well, we didn't get everything we wanted out the situation. We didn't get, the town is still there. It would have been gone last year. Late last year, it would have been done, but it's still there. It still has its charter. It still has a chance to survive and go on. So that's a rounding success recently. And there are others. So I would land with this. Be very careful when answering questions like this, because to say that we can't achieve success together is to say that we are less than human. Any human group of human beings who have a common interest can succeed, achieve success together. And we are no different. And we have achieved it. So I'm going to land it with that.
Can I just rebuttal with you real fast, Immortal? Not to disagree with you.
Nope. I said what I said.
Disagree with you, family. Not to disagree with you.
Ain't no back and forth between me and you. You say what you. I say what I
back
said.
And forth, family. We talking, bro. We action. Can we all get together? If bro, it ain't even no rebuttal, bro. To disrespect what you saying.
Go ahead, man.
I don't know what happened with I gotta call the judge. Who did I say after Immortal?
I was next. I was going to talk about the segregation thing.
All right. So, all right. Well, I said Sean, then Cadillac. All right. Go ahead, Sean, and then Cadillac.
Yeah, I was going to speak on that segregation thing because, I was speaking to Black representatives in Philadelphia and know about discrimination in the district I'm in. And they was telling me they can't do nothing, amongst the district lines, that I'm at, because they was in their districts. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. And for the judge, and everybody was talking, they saying something about the cigarettes and the liquor, all that stuff is killing people more than the marijuana. Like, and somebody was talking about like the overall, the around success. We got to understand, like, they talk friendly competition, and they go to war with these friendly people though that they on the market with, they create product with, and all of that. And these people travel to places to look for these seeds. Like, they travel to like Africa to look for them seeds. And it became a market now. And like these Latino people is definitely like the people that they go to for our medication, and the Asians also. So we probably wouldn't really know what they putting in our drugs, like when we go to put medication and things like that. But that's why I was like, what are we going to do to be a part of this friendly competition, that the way they speak, when they speaking amongst themselves at the dinner table type of talk. They want us to remain illiterate and not to understand those talking points. What can we do? And some people be speaking on what can we do, and they keep getting shut down. But this is the things that these people are doing and making a marketable thing. And people are putting in stocks all around. It's the people's interest. So we could say that that's not good. That's not good. But we got billions of people who interested in it. What we going to remain illiterate and not jump aboard. And I do recall Dr. Sabi saying you do smoke a little bit of weed. I mean, you use it, don't abuse it. So it's a main health resource also. CBD, all that type of stuff is involved with this stuff. It's just the information got to be given to our people.
All right, Cadillac, and I think the judge I think he's coming back up. Go ahead, Cadillac.
Thanks for letting me speak, Dana. Shout out to the judge. Shout out to the art. Shout out to Immortal. Shout out to the rest of the family that's in the building. And secure the tribe. I'm gonna speak from a personal level, but I can't speak without speaking about white supremacy. That's the biggest obstacle to our success, or black folks actually being successful. It's white supremacy who, working in conjunction with the banks, who the banks are owned by white supremacists who won't give us loans, even though we have good credit, even though we have all of the criteria that they have, but they'll give it to a broke white person. You see what I'm saying? So having said that, uh, speaking from a personal level, my mother, I invested into her slingshot business, a Polaris slingshot. We got two of them. So me and her are successful in that endeavor, right? And I can't speak on what, the numbers are because she actually owns that. I'm just an investor, right? But then my mother also invested with me in my first 18 wheeler. And she also invested with my brother in his first 18 wheeler. So therefore, what I'm telling you guys is that there are successful black businesses around here. You know what I'm saying? That is making money. He make upwards of 5,000 a week. I make upwards where he make over 5,000 a week. I make over upwards of $10,000 a week, and that's just been running for a month. So multiply that times 52 weeks, and there you go. So it is success around here. Black people are working together, even if it's on a family level, even if it's on a more personal level. But we got to use what we got. Also speaking about the politicians, because the politicians came up, right? And I can't blame them for what they do, but this is what the politicians are doing, literally. The politicians, they come in the neighborhoods around voting time, they rally us all up, they get us all hyped, they gonna help us do this, they gonna help us do that, right? And as soon as they get in there, they got these big multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar corporations who get them or who lobby them, get them money, and it ain't illegal. They give it to them on top of the table, not under the table, to literally go in and do the bidding of these corporations, putting all kind of bull crap in the hood, all these factories that spewing out all this pollution and all type of other stuff they got going on. So literally, they be broke when they get in there. They be the average Joe, just like me and you. And then the moment they get in there, they start taking all this money from these politicians and they get addicted to that, just like a drug. And there you go. So they turn their backs on the people who actually get them in. That's just one aspect of it. I could go deeper, but I'm gonna land right there. Thanks for letting me speak.
All right. Who did I say was going after him? Forgot. Was it Reggie and then Art
No, I
and
think
Tex?
it's Art. It's Art, then
Art.
me.
Okay, go
No,
ahead,
it was
Art.
text. It was text.
Tex, go ahead, Tex.
Yeah, brother Reggie, I respect you, brother. I wasn't trying to push back just to be pushing back, but I
No
thought,
thing.
yeah, I just thought you was trying to say like politicians, like they have no purpose, right? Or it's never gonna get anywhere. Because like most people, politics will never get us anything. But again, like if we're sick of these politicians, the only way to solve that problem is to educate the masses of the people about how this thing is supposed to be played.
Stood.
Like
Yeah.
most of our people, man, all we do is pull a lever at the end of the whole process. Like we're not in there hard body in the paint through the whole political season. We show up on the seventh game of the championship and we hit a 3-pointer and we think we're supposed to get a ring, but we only got 3 points for the whole season because we wasn't in it. With our bodies in the paint. Like banging on them. Like this is what we want. This is what we demand. And if you don't give it to me, you go into the unemployment line. And that could even nullify
Facts.
the millionaires. Like millionaires may give money, but the millionaire can't get his agenda if his man don't have the bodies in there pulling those levers. So we can overpower money in the system with an educated voter population through voter education to make people know how this thing is supposed to go. These people work for you. And we see it and we glad handing and shaking their hands and grinning and we think we met a damn celebrity. No, these people are working for you. You don't have to be nice to them. You don't have to appease them. You don't have to fall for their little charming Colgate smile. No, this is business. This is what I need for my people. It's not about you or your personality or whatever, man. Like we got to approach it in a different way. In the paint, meaning like running up all year round. Like if you go to their office, if you call them on the phone, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, back channel, you know, get up in there. If they don't know your name and what you want, you ain't doing grown up politics. I thank you.
All right, and then who was that? Who was that? That was Art or Tex?
Yeah, that was Tex.
Okay, and who was it next? Art or Reggie?
I think it's me. I'm not quite sure, but I,
Go
It's on
ahead.
you, Art.
yeah, I posted in the jumbotron a thing. I was gonna read a little section of it. Although hemp is legal, regulatory risks complicate the crop long-term outlook. Specifically as it reports to blacks, before December, when President Donald Trump signed the bill, that federal law treated hemp as a quasi-controlled substance because of its relation to marijuana. So when I told you about those hemp licenses, it's because I know people that's tried to get them. It wasn't because like I was just making it out of my ass. I just wanted to post that in the jumbotron for one. And addressing the political thing, if you sit at a rigged game and you know the dice is loaded and you keep losing and the dice are loaded and you keep losing, at some point I'm gonna laugh at you. Our representation ratio, and this is why I'm gonna push back what Texwell was talking about. The more you know about this government, the less likely you are to vote. And I'll use Article 1, Section 2 of our Constitution, which says we shouldn't have over one rep per 30K. We now have one rep per 700,000. To tell people, to put in more contextualize that, there are countries who have less than 600,000 people who have a monarchy who have better representation than we do. And so if the government can't do representation right, I'm going to tell you it probably can't do much else right, because we have the worst representation ratio in the world, bar none. So like we're going to be realistic. We're going to have to like be realistic. We can't do these pie in the sky pipe dreams. And like that's my problem with a lot of these kind of conversations, because it's like we're not using data. We're not using the one thing that we can use to try to have some kind of objective point of view. We want to sprinkle our subjective point of views regardless of what the data actually says, and you're getting the result of that. You're getting the actual result of doing just that. If you ignore the data at your job, or you ignore the data when you run your business, you're probably not going to have a successful business, and that's what we have here. And so I'll end with that.
All right. Go ahead, Reggie, and then I'm going to close it out. I don't know what happened to the
Okay.
judge, and I don't have time for this today.
I got you, Dana. I didn't, no, Dana, you do a good job. Shout out to Dana, man. I appreciate you for holding these spaces. I follow your podcast. I'm with you, sis. Real appreciative. But I just want to
Thank you
say
so
to
much.
fellas, absolutely. I just want to say and land with this, fellas. We familiar with each other. We've been on spaces. We bicker, we argue, we go through all that. But man, what I can say is, man, we at a time now where we can kind of have an understanding and a conversation due to the power of this social media, man. Half of y'all wouldn't have known me, and I wouldn't have known y'all. And so I appreciate that I hear some of the Art, Black, I didn't build with you, Mortal. I know you, Sean, all of us, sis down there, Suge, man. We familiar with each other, man. And although we have our differences and paradigms, but I think by having more of a understanding and discussion, whether right or wrong, I think we can get some decorum, man, and probably solve some of these solutions that's to our problems. And last thing, we do got some money, man. We do got some success. I know it comes from the sports and entertainment avenue, but when I look at these guys that's coming from that paradigm, they are making noise more than my generation, man. We got more successful. I'm 52, so I come from that Generation X in our land. We got more millionaires than there ever been in my generations, coming from underprivileged circumstances, man. So I think we need to look at that. That we do got some power. It's just how do we connect them dots? That's what's missing.
All right, wait. I see another speaker, Commander. Go ahead, Commander. You want to speak?
Queen of the data and research. How's things going?
Good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Can Black Americans achieve success together? I think the best coalition will be amongst ourselves. Shout out to Malcolm X. He said it the best. I think that if we start figure out ways to build coalition amongst ourselves to build a stronger and better community, I think that we can work together and build success. But if we don't, I think we could perish as well. So that's just my take.
Dana, if I could say
Okay.
something real fast,
Yeah.
I just want to say, speaking towards these sports, these stars, these superstars that we so-called call them, right? Well, white supremacists also control them. You know, that's why you don't have Oprah. She could go spend all this money in Africa and build all these schools, but she ain't really doing much around here. You know, all these people, they can go do all this stuff for all these other nations, but the moment they go to helping Black Americans, they get blackballed, threw up under the bus, kicked out, locked up, and all kind of stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there. Be careful who y'all following, because no, I'm not saying you, Dane. I follow you on all these platforms too, but I'm just saying, be careful who you follow, because these motherfuckers ain't going nowhere and they ain't trying to take us nowhere, because Master got his foot on their neck and he ain't gonna allow them to. I land.
No, that was a good point. And I agree with that. Anybody else want to say anything else before I shut it down? I don't know what happened to the judge. I don't know, but he could at least text me and said something. So, I go, if y'all want to have last comments, you can.
Send him well wishes if the judge, man, because anything bad happen, like just well wishes in general, just out of GP because he's a good dude. So, well wishes.
Anybody else want to say anything? Close. Oh, I see a request. Wait a minute. Hi, Adam. Adam, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I'm done. I ain't gonna speak to the other stuff, but I will speak to Title 42 as an immigrant. Title 42, that's just correlated with COVID. So once COVID drops, which they ended, they said it was over. That's gonna go down with it as well. The question is the laws on the book, they haven't been enforcing them. So that's the issue. That's the core issue, is getting them to, you know, start backing up the laws that are on the book for immigration law, you know, ports of entry, let people apply like legal immigrants do. You know, he said it on day one. If you want, I pulled it up. Like back in the DNC debate, Joe Biden laid out a red carpet and said, pretty much anybody come, you know, like come on in, we got you, you know. And imagine like what I think somebody else was saying in regards to the representation. Now imagine all these millions of people coming in over the past couple of years here, like something close 5-6 million people. That's just the people that they ran into, not the gotaways that we don't know who the hell they are. You know, terrorists on, you know, they caught 79, 75 or something. People that were on the terrorist watch list, that's people that they encountered. The gotaways, we don't know where the hell they are. We see the country, like all these factories and all this crap going on in the past couple of years. This is infrastructure terrorism. You know, they're attacking our infrastructure, I believe. And I'm an immigrant, so I don't mind saying this shit. Like, you know, I've been here since the age of 4, but I've been dealing with immigration my whole life. Judge Joe Brown gave me some advice I looked into, but no, I don't think that's gonna help me out. But I appreciate his you know, effort there. But regardless, this is not a way to have immigration. You know, it's not a free for all. And I'm a libertarian, and most libertarians are against borders, which is ridiculous. Because if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. You know, to be honest, like look at all the other countries in Europe. They got their borders. You know, and people go through them. You know. So yeah, I'll land my plane there. If you got any questions, I'll more than gladly answer.
Well, yeah. I'm about to close down the space. Because I do the space for, this is on Tuesdays is really the judge space. So I just, you know, just get everything organized for it. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what is going on. I'm trying to call him. He's not picking up. He's not responding to my texts. And not only is that rude, but I want to make sure like everything is okay. So I don't know. So I was just going to just close it out. And it's been 2 hours. So I think we did good timing. But as far as Title 42, listen, I think it is a problem. It is a problem. You just, excuse me, you letting people come over here without going to the proper due process. I mean, the immigration policy that we had already in place was to shits and disorganized, but we have open borders. We have open borders, basically. We have open borders on the ground. I don't know how it is if you fly in and you know stay longer than your expired visa, but we have open borders basically here in America. So I think maybe next week or when I do my show on The Real Dana, please go and subscribe on YouTube. I'll address that. You know, what's going to happen to America now that we have open borders? The UK, people have been sailing to get into the UK, illegals, and they set up some type of what do you call it? It's like floating apartments or a floating bed. So it's like this big thing on a big ass ship with 122 beds. So when they scoop you up from the ocean, what's that? The English tide, or the English Channel, when they scoop you up, they're going to place you in this floating facility. You know, you could sleep there on the bed until they deport you back. So we're not the only ones. It's just that we're not the only ones with the illegal quote unquote issue. It's just that we're the only ones that have an open border policy. So, and honestly, that will be the downfall of America. So I'm going to close. Oh no, Transis, you came up. Did you want to say anything? And then I'm gonna close out.
Hello, hi, and thank you for letting me talk in your space, Miss Dana. And yes, ma'am, you are right. It is the English Channel, but whatchamacallit, because it's between France and the UK. But like whatchamacallit, I just want to just clarify something, and because I've been on certain comment sections, and I work with various I've done work with various immigration advocacy groups and stuff like that, and I was even protesting outside an ICE facility. That was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we were down in South Florida. We were protesting. So yeah, I just want to just educate that the term is called undocumented immigrants. They are undocumented and unfortunately, but yeah, I feel like it's a lot of people know this, but maybe you don't, or some people don't. But calling any human being illegal is like kind of dehumanizing and kind of degrading. I'm not sure if you meant to, but I just want you to educate them. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, and yeah, I just want to say that. And also, the immigration system is actually very broken, very outdated, and it does. If you do your research, it has a very racist history, and yeah, I just want to say that, and yeah, I'm done talking. Thank you.
I would like to respond to you by saying that when Black Americans commit crimes in this country, they don't sugarcoat it. They call us criminals. When we actually do, they call us criminals when we don't commit crimes. But when we actually do break a law, commit a crime, we're called criminals. So that's number one. So you want a courtesy to be given to people that we don't even get. Another thing, Black Americans are going to refer to these people however we see fit because they have names. All these people you're talking about, go through them and talk to them. They have all these derogatory names for us built into their culture. Already know they're talking about us. So we would find it very insulting for you to try to tell us how to refer to people after they've broken the law. You want us to give them deference that no one gives us, not even you. Because if I broke a law and you saw it, you'd call me a criminal. Yes, you would, and you'd probably tell the authorities and everything. So we don't do that. We don't play that. If they came over here illegal, that's what they did. They are illegal immigrants. They immigrated illegally. That's all it means, and it means just that. So thanks.
Well, the borders are port of entry, and there's like some kind of security which they go through apparently, and yeah, so yeah, and I just want to say that, and they're human beings just like you, just like me. They have every right to be here, and especially with the turmoil going on in South America.
Ma'am,
There's a
no,
lot of
ma'am.
turmoil.
You're
Yes,
talking
there
fast,
is.
ma'am. That's why I'm stopping you, because you're talking so fast. Now I need you to explain to me
Yeah.
what gives them the right to be here. What gives, out of everything that Black people are owed in this country and don't get, what are you saying gives them the right to come here? Where's that right come from?
Absolutely, I am saying that, and they are human beings just like us, and yeah, they deserve like amnesty, especially with the wars going on in different countries, like in Africa, in like the Middle East, and in South America, and yeah, it's just the cartels
Ma'am,
and stuff
ma'am,
like that, and
ma'am, I,
yeah.
I get that part of your argument. You
Hmm.
say they in harm's way in their own countries because of
Hmm.
wars. Well, you know
Yes.
what we do, Black Americans? Know what we do when there's war in this country? We fight. We don't run to their
Um,
country. We don't run to the listen. We don't run to the Middle East because there's no help there for us. We don't run to South America because there's no help there for us. The only help there is for us is to stand our ground and fight and live and die for our homeland. And we expect that of every human being to live and die for your people and your homeland. So that argument that you're running, these people in many cases are running from themselves. They running from other members of their own ethnic groups, killing them up. Other communities, and that has nothing to do with us. And we have sat over here for centuries, and
oh,
no
really?
help has come. Listen, ma'am, because I'm gonna land it. We've sat over here for centuries, and no help has come forth from these corners that you're talking about. So it's not our responsibility as Black Americans. It's not our responsibility to take care of all these people, to help all these people. It's not. It's not our responsibility to pay for all these people when we got Black Americans on the subway being murdered, choked out. Meanwhile, 100 yards away, you got people who you don't even know who they are. You don't even know who these people are. They got 3 or 4 different identities. And they're sitting in a hotel that my tax dollars are paying for. We don't, I know you can't understand this. A lot of times they say people can't understand what they being paid not to understand. So you might not be able to understand where I'm coming from, but we ain't giving, how can I make it plain? We don't give no fuck about all that. I don't give no fuck about what's going on in the other countries. They don't care what's happening here. They killed Darren Steele. Where's everybody at? Is this thing on? They killed Darren Steele. Where is everybody? But you want to talk to me about who's dying in your country? Go on with that. Go on with it. Go with it.
Actually, wait. I
Go with
actually
it.
have seen various people in Africa talking about the racism in America and everything, and like on the media and even in some of these Twitter spaces, I've heard them talking and even advocating, and then also I've seen videos of several Black Americans going to Ghana and going to live in Tanzania, going to live in Kenya, going to live in South Africa, going to live in Lesotho. So you can't tell me that, oh no, Black Americans don't go there, or
Wait,
even
wait, wait, wait.
Americans, even white Americans. So
Where are you?
One second, guys. One
yeah.
second. Adam had his hand up, and then I want to go to Mimi.
Oh,
We could have this conversation going for a little bit longer to flesh it out a little bit. So go ahead,
oh,
Adam, and then Mimi.
Oh,
okay.
officially put it down already. You know, like, yeah, these people are crossing illegally. They are not coming through the legal way, so they are illegal. They're breaking the law, plain and simple. Like, I don't know if you understand that in the UK, but that's here in America. We've got $30+ trillion of debt, inflation going through the roof. You know, that's why I'm I'm America first. I like the idea of that because, you know, we got to put our country first. Sick and tired of seeing money being sent to Ukraine, and they're buying. We sent them a lot of money to buy diesel fuel. You know who they bought the diesel fuel from? They said they bought it from somebody else, but they went and bought it from Russia cheaper. And then they skimmed $400 million and kept that shit for themselves, and then divided it amongst their oligarchs. So yeah, tired of this shit. You know, they're ruining this country. And instead of you know, fixing the economy, making it better like Trump was. You know, they're bullshitting with this racist son of a bitch, Biden. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, Dana. I should
No,
you
it's
keep
okay.
it on YouTube. But
It's
yeah,
okay.
that's you know what I mean. This guy's the worst person I've ever seen in my life. You know, all the crime bills, everything, all that shit. You know, the things he said in his history. Trump was never treated like that prior to being elected. He was embraced by all sorts of communities. Everybody loved the man. And yeah, they're doing a hit job, and they still going after him right now.
As far as black folks are concerned, Trump is no better than Biden.
It's not
They're the
about
same
that. Wait,
as
so
far as
what?
we
But the
concerned.
fact is that
Well, he brought it up.
wait,
So
no,
that's it.
he brought it up for that's his perspective. That's his opinion. Me personally, I voted for Trump. I'll vote for him again because he is better than Joe Biden. So it's not about what you could do for me. I don't look to a president to see what he could do for me because that's not his job. I look to a president to make sure that he's making sure that our military and our defense is stronger. Our borders are stronger. What are you doing internationally? What are you doing as far as our economy here? But that's it. I don't give a shit about them personally. And black people, we need to get away from that. Stop saying,
and I don't care about them personally either.
Hold on. Stop saying, oh, well, he's worse than this. Well, they're politicians. They're all fucking liars. It is our responsibility as citizens here in America to use the government for our better purpose, for our betterment. That's it. You use them. You don't befriend them. You don't trust them. Why would you trust any government? Not just here, but anywhere in this world. So
you don't idolize them either.
what is Trump? So what Adam was basically saying
one's no better than the other.
What Adam was saying is Trump is better for America. That is a fact. Because where this country is going under Biden administration, are you kidding me? This
hell in a handbasket.
So when Trump goes out and gives us lip service and says,
I don't give a fuck about the lip service. You're focused on the wrong things, Immortal. I don't care what they say. I don't care what you say. I look at what you do. If somebody tell you they love you, who gives a fuck? Because love is an action. You got to look at what somebody do. What are you doing to show me that you love me? So I don't care what they say.
Well, what he did to show us, since you don't want me to repeat what he said, then let me tell you what he did. What he did do was an executive order for Asian businesses that had money.
Biden?
No, Trump.
What did he do? What did he do for Asians?
He created an executive order for Asian businesses because that's what he wanted to do.
No. But why did he do it? No, it's not because he wanted to do. It's not because he wanted. Are you serious? You know why he did it? Because the Asians don't give a fuck who's in the White House. They told him that's what they wanted. Black people.
Well, you said you only care about what.
Hold on. Let me speak. Because I only care about what you do. Black people, the fucking Democrats, or there's black people who vote for the Democrats, was trying to convince the black population Trump is a racist. So no black person was demanding an executive order from him. The Asians were, and the Asians are demanding it from Biden because they don't care who's in the White House. They don't care what political party. They're not tied to a political party. Black people in America, we're the only dumb group that sit up here and want to identify solely with the Democrats, which doesn't disharm when you have a Republican sitting in the office. So looking by his actions, that executive order, he didn't wake up one day and say, I want to do something nice for the Asians. They came to him and said, this is what the fuck we want. And he did it. Black people didn't ask Trump for anything. And matter of fact, we didn't ask Biden for anything. We don't ask people for shit. We want the politicians to do for us. We think we go in a booth and we vote and that's it. No, that's not it. That's really who you vote for means nothing.
Okay,
it's who you put in that position. But hold that for a second. Let me go to Mimi because Mimi been up here for a minute. Go ahead, Mimi.
Damn it, Dana.
I'm sorry. I pressed the mute button and I meant to press my mic mute. Go ahead, Mimi. I unmuted everybody. What the hell happened to
I'm up here grabbing my pearls, Miss Dana. Thank you. She is correct. Because some people, and I'm talking about smooth skins, I call them smooth skins, us black folks, Americans, some people, and there's a group of people that depend on the government. I don't depend on the government and the entity of making my money. I just depend that they had to protecting my constitution and my rights and my law and order. When you have a DOJ like, you're not black if you don't vote for me, and you still questioning, I have to look at you as a person, because my America, my father, my mom, whatever, they was all over here. I Joe Biden and all that shit and all that stuff. Any question? There's a lot of people coming over here to take your job and take your lane while you sitting up here trying to figure it out. While you sitting up here trying to figure out, well, why? Well, why? Keep doing the why. But guess what? People like myself and Dana and other folks, we're trying to fix it. And I would say we, did you catch that, Miss Dana? We are trying to fix it because this is my motherfucking country. Y'all up here talking about reparations and all that. No, ma'am. It's my country.
Well, no, I'm talking about reparations too, honey.
Oh, okay. That's a conversation we can have
later.
That's
a whole fact. Yeah. No, it's not even a conversation. It's because listen, every group, and I went all the way down to the illegals, receive reparations. Black folk are way overdue. The problem right now is more, which always end up happening, is more goddamn infighting. Hold on,
Miss Dana. Miss Dane. Is it Dana or Dane?
Dana.
Okay, Miss Dana. Here's my question. You here in North America, right? You over here. My confusion with everything when you talk about reparations, why or how did it get misconstrued when Abraham Lincoln and the Republican Party, which would be black men, the first party before the Democrats, because it's always the first, the Republican Party linked up with, his name would be Abraham Lincoln. They did civil rights, freed the slaves, and so on and so on. So if they did the broke bread, what happened to the 2 mules and 20 acres or 40 acres? What happened to that? So my discretion of thought, when it comes down to people of today's world talking about reparations, it was already settled. Because a lot of your ancestors came over here when they freed the slaves. That's that conversation. It's a lot for why y'all still living on that. And I'm talking about y'all, me, you, all of us. Because slavery was all of like 200 something years ago. Why you want monies from somebody that already worked? And if you go to your family reunion, you'll see your aunties and uncles already took that, or either it was sold. Because reparations is land. And that's what I wanted to say. And thank you. Ooh, my stomach.
Can I respond back to that?
Reparations ain't free money. You can't live off somebody else's word.
Mimi.
This is like, I want your money. Wait. I want that black man to come through. Come through with your thoughts. How can I get your, if you work at Walmart and I'm like, okay, well, such and such is gone. I want to do his slave or working at Walmart and putting these bottles in, storing all the foods. Like, you can't do. Who told you that? Democrat.
All right, Mimi, I need for you to mute up, and I need Art want to respond. Then I'm gonna go to Leon, and then I'm gonna go to OG.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Art, Leon, Tex, then OG, and then I'll swing back to Adam.
Okay. First of all, I would like to clarify something. That long time ago, no, we had, this country became a country because a group of people came over here because they were mad about what? Taxation without representation. Black people had taxation without representation to 1965, otherwise known, and I quote, just not my words, it's John Locke's, that is similar to slavery. So it means slavery did not end for the black community.
Go to the next hand.
Do not come off your mic. Do not interrupt somebody when they're talking. Mimi, you had your time to talk. Now it's Art time. Yeah, raise your hand and I'll come back to you after everybody else. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah, so slavery didn't end to 1965 unless you're going to count taxation as representation. I can quote John Locke. It's not my truth. I didn't make the quote. It's literally somebody else. So another thing that was said was that they did us a favor by freeing the slaves. I always hear that bullshit. Lincoln was racist. Both of those people were racist. If you remember correctly, the Liberty Party teamed up with the Republican Party in order to win. And even when they won with the least amount of votes in history. Lincoln won with the least amount of votes. So he barely skid by, and that's because he teamed up with the Liberty Party, who was full with abolitionists. So that's another taboo.
Let me try to just figure shit out.
I think, hey Dana, I think you got your mic on. But like, yeah. So I don't understand where those talking points really come from. It's asinine. And then on top of that, you never hear when we have to give money to Ukraine or when we have to give money to, I don't care who it is. They have corporations, right? Where's the pull up by the bootstraps when they want tax cuts? Where's the pull up by the bootstraps when any group of people want anything? Look, if you want me to not have no money based on my ancestors, that's fine. But don't give money to anybody. And so that's my problem. It's like people want to just take money out of my pocket and give it over to a random person A, B, and C. I don't agree with any of it. Don't take my money, period. Right? And so if you're going to take my money and then you're going to say, I can't get that from my ancestors, make it universal. Apply that universal. But then that would mean we have no taxes and we have no government, right? Because that's exactly what they're going to do is take our money and give it to somebody we probably disagree with should be getting in the first place. So the fact that this debt is owed, not my words, and they haven't paid it, this government hasn't earned its accountability. They want to preach for Black people to have accountability. They haven't. Have they kept any domestic treaty? I don't think they kept any domestic treaty. They seem to keep maybe half, maybe quarter of some shit internationally, but I don't remember a single domestic treaty they have ever kept. So why would I trust this lack of accountability of our government? So when we call it reparations, fuck calling it reparations. They are restoring accountability because they take none. And I'll end with that.
I want to go to Leon. Leon, then Tex. Tex is after Leon? Did you have your hand up, Tex? Because I'm getting confused now. And then
it up now.
Okay. Leon. All right. So then Leon, OG, then Tex, Adam, and Woman. Go ahead, Leon.
All right. Thank you, Sister Dana. Appreciate it. This is your title of this space is something we all need to be really thinking about, especially when you got the hashtag Title 42. I'm gonna be brief. I just want to leave it at this, make people think. What I see is I've been preaching this earlier. I call it ethno-genocide by immigration. We see the pictures, we see the video of this 100,000 supposed to be almost down by the border that's going to come flood over here by Thursday. What I see both sides of the political aspect is pushing us Black Americans out. And the reason why I'm saying that because you hearing all the stories of they're coming over here with money, some coming with cash. They staying at these fancy hotels when they get here. I don't even know if they even working. They getting all the assistance right off the bat once they step forth over here. So I'm looking at it as ethnocide by I'll call it ethno-genocide by immigration. And I'll land there.
Okay. Who did I say? Oh, OG. Go ahead, OG, then Tex, then Adam, and then Woman.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Dana. Appreciate it. Shout out to the room, peace, power, prosperity to all. And Judge who's missing. Thank you guys for having this space and all. It's a good question. Can Black Americans achieve success together? Well, we can and we can't. We could if we wanted to, okay? But listen, have y'all lost y'all damn mind? This country has had 250 plus years of free labor. Now, how do you drop the ball with 250 years of free labor and you have a surplus? At that point, you gotta have a surplus. You don't even have to do any fucking math to see that you got a surplus because you got 250 years of free labor. GDP should be out the fucking roof. Now, how do you squander all of that? How do you squander 250 years of free labor and with a gross GDP that's headlining the world? And then you want to turn around and not say that slavery wasn't something that was productive. Slavery was ended. So, that should be the end of it. And I can't believe the talking points people try to come with. And we vote because of how the pattern went. We vote according to how they allowed us to vote. Hell, at one point you could only vote Republican. At one point you could only vote Democrat. But here, through the whole process, you was risking your life through the whole process to even show up at the damn door. And then y'all want to think and take like all these privileges, all of these the nuances of trying to arrive at a certain place politically, is all about just saying it and doing it. And nothing could be further from the truth. And people not understanding what it is and what it takes to go through these damn processes. They think just opening their fucking mouth is just able to, dictate what should take place. Man, these processes to these things, and people not understanding. They only seeing what's being said, the talking points. And the only thing anybody's gotten right is not to trust politicians. That's the only thing anybody's gotten right. That's all. I'll land. Thank you.
Thank you. Real quick, because I see, Trans, you put in the Jumbotron seeking asylum as a human right. If you qualify, everybody don't qualify for asylum. All those people coming to the border, those millions, thousands upon thousands of people coming to the border do not qualify for asylum. Asylum, I do believe, is if you are coming from a war-torn country. They're not. So they're breaking the law. Who did I say? Tex? Yeah, Tex, then Adam, then woman.
Thank you, Sister Dana. It's funny, man. People can say two things at the same time. The sister, the last sister who spoke was talking about, I don't look for the government for my money. But someone just noted that the Asian Americans got money for business. And Brother Art, he's a genius, he's a very intelligent brother. And he speaks about how we're not representation and all this stuff. And I'm not taking that point away from him, but you have to admit that people come here, and if they're organized in a correct fashion, they gain from the system of politics. They gain policy that furthers their economics and their social mobility. So it's not like politics. It's not that politics doesn't work. It just doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for people who do goony goo politics. And that's what my people do. My people elected, they voted for ethnogenocide. They put a president in there, and I say they because I didn't vote for Biden or Trump. I wrote in reparations. They put a president in there that pushed for their own ethnogenocide. And the ethnogenocide is nothing new. It happened with the Irish. When the Irish came, they made a pact to undermine the freed slaves by working cheaper than slaves would work. And it worked. And then when they got in place, they formed unions to keep us off the jobs. So this immigration thing is nothing new. It's always been weaponized against us. We have never been able to get our footing because they've always fled. Well, my uncle, he's in his 80s. He told me in Newark, New Jersey, when he was a young man, he could have a job, leave that job at 8 o'clock in the morning and have another job by 12 o'clock, a good paying job. So this is where we are, y'all. This ain't the 60s. Our economy is not what it was in the 60s or the 50s. We got a whole globalized economy now. We got outsourcing. We're going to have automation, and we're going to have robotics and AI. And these people, they may come to wash dishes or shovel shit, but the shit shovelers' children will not shovel shit. They will be competing directly with your children for resources, educational spots, funding, and everything else. So it's not like the the dishwashers are going to go back or wash dishes their whole lives, and that's going to be the end of it. No, they're going to have kids, and their kids are going to grow up, and they're going to get the education. They're going to be a direct competition with your children and your grandchildren. So when you say, oh, they take the jobs nobody wants. Yeah, they may take the jobs nobody wants, but their children damn sure won't. And because black people don't have a long-term outlook on things. We look at things in the moment. We have to have a long-term outlook on things.
Okay, thanks for that. Adam, who did I say? Oh, Adam, woman. And then I see Mary, you're new. Then I'll swing back to you, Mimi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say in 2016, I was not a Trump supporter, and I sure as hell wasn't a Hillary supporter. I thought he was, just whatever, like some, basically reality TV show guy that owned a bunch of businesses, filed bankruptcy a few times, and I wasn't a big supporter. Honestly, I was a libertarian. After my family, basically, they voted for Obama, got him in. We celebrated and all that, and then he turned out to be Bush Jr. 2.0. Did carried the same damn agenda, and kept on piling up the debt. But when I saw Trump get in there, and you saw both the establishment Democrats and the establishment Republicans both go after him, I changed my mind in that moment, because those are the people that are ruining our country. And if they don't like him, there's got to be a damn good reason for it. And look at this, they're still after him right now. They had some crazy lady saying that he raped her, and now they didn't find him guilty, but they made a decision to basically fine him $5 million or something like that. I don't know what the situation is with that, just came out today. But yeah, they're steady after him, and there's a reason for that, because he's against them. He's standing up for the country and wants to make the country better. Now, there's as far as the border and the way Biden's not enforcing it, I'm going to reference Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislator or executive, when the legislator cannot be convened, against domestic violence. Okay. And then Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, and adhering to the enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act, or confession in open court. So yeah, these are things that he basically that these could be used. And you could see, I think Governor Abbott deployed the National Guard to the border, and he's deflecting people. Now, as far as what Katie Hobbs is going to do in Arizona, I don't think she's going to do much. She ain't deploying no National Guard. California is not going to do that either. So those people are going to probably segue that way. Who knows? But we need this president, or resident, I call him, because he's no president in my view. He's just a fool that's being puppeted. He needs to step up, or he's going to face some serious indictments coming up. And there's a lot of crap coming his way, and it's piling up right now. And I'll land there. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't think this administration or Governor Abbott or even the governor of Arizona, I don't think they have a solid plan for the illegal immigrants coming over here. Nobody really has a plan. They don't know what they're going to do. They're just playing it by ear as they go along, which is a problem. Let me go to woman, then Mary, and then swing back to Mimi, and then I guess I'll wrap it up. Go ahead, woman.
Yeah, so I just wanted to address what your question is about: can Black Americans achieve success together? Well, the reality is you don't have a choice. I mean, so what has been clear from a lot of these different spaces is that in general, is seen as the United States government does not have it in its DNA to do for Black people what needs to be done. So if that's the case, and everyone knows that, that makes the United States government an enemy. So if you consider the United States an enemy, why would you look for your enemy to do good for you? So therefore, Black people don't have a choice but to pull their money and their resources together and go and do for self, as it has been done. This is nothing new. With the except, we're not even talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, Rosewood, Seneca Village. For those that don't know what Seneca Village is, that's where Central Park is now. That used to be a Black community because of segregation. I mean, all this came because we was legally segregated. So we didn't have a choice but to do for self. You didn't have a choice because it was just you and Black people. That's it. You couldn't go outside of your area because you were segregated. So you had to create your own barbershops, your own supermarkets, your own insurance companies, your own banks. You had no choice. And we did it. The difference now is we're not segregated. And so we keep trying to maybe, go outside the bounds and work with people that we believe is our enemy. Then if that's the case, then that's kind of foolish. So I think we waste too much time criticizing our enemy. We know he's an enemy, so why we keep criticizing him? Anything, you should just take the time. For an example, so the host of this space, like Dana, let's say if Dana had created a nonprofit, and when you open these spaces and you say, listen, in your area, you probably got some vacant homes that's for sale, either by the city or by someone private. And you was like, you know what? I'm doing a nonprofit, a GoFundMe. I'm trying to raise an X amount of dollars. Forget the government. We're not talking about the government. We're talking about the people in spaces. Because you raise the money, you go and you buy the whole block up or whatever you can buy. Now you own the block. You own the block. So who's gonna come and take the block? Unless you think the government's gonna send the police and the military to take the block. And come on, that's we're not there yet. They're not gonna do that. So let's just keep it real. So if you do that and you buy the whole block up, now you own the block. So if these so-called, whoever comes to this country, if they need a place to stay, guess what? They have to come to you now. So now you get the rent to them and and now you get the money that they get from whoever they get, the government or their people. You see what I'm saying? You lock down your areas. We haven't locked down our areas. And then I'm gonna have to keep it real. No one's not gonna like what I say, but it is what it is. That's our fault. If I haven't did what I'm supposed to do, what I know I should have did, that's my fault, bro. I can't blame somebody fucking else for that shit. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? We all know that we should have been securing our own areas. You know what I mean? And we haven't did that. And so we need to start now, or start whenever you feel like it needs to be started. That's all. I think some of the spaces that's being held, that people need to start really thinking about solutions. And all of us know there's been a number of spaces from these FBA guys, the Adolf and all these spaces. We complain about what America isn't doing for us. That's cool. So now we need to find solutions, because it's evident, and it doesn't matter which administration. It could be Democrat or Republican. It don't matter. Okay, the government is not going to do for us what we need to do for ourselves. They're just not going to do it. Now, some administrations may give you a couple of dollars here and there, but they overall are not going to do for you. And so it's on us to do for ourselves. I live in New York City, right? Anyone that's familiar with New York City, if you go to Brooklyn, like Crown Heights, Williamsburg, that's where the Orthodox Jews live. They own their own community. They got their own school buses. They own schools. They got their own medical. They got their own everything. They don't need a motherfucking thing from nobody. They're not special. They're not special at all. Yes, I know someone's going to say, yeah, they got that because they get money from the government because of what happened with the Holocaust and they have money and finances. Okay, yeah, that's true. But so we can't get that from the government. So we got to supply it for ourselves. We spend over $1 trillion. Black people spend the most cash money than any group of people on the planet. And you know that. No one in here is going to deny that. You know that. And the government knows that. We spend cash money besides the Jordans and looking fly and all that. We have money. We have paper money. We can take that paper money and go buy stuff and then do our own thing. And that's just pretty much it, bro.
Economic boycott. We definitely do need to do that. Let me go to Mary. Judge Sarah, I see you, but I want to I'm going to start closing it out. if I bring you up, Judge Sarah's going to be the last person. So I'm gonna go to. Did I come to Mary? No, I didn't come to Mary yet, right? I'm
No,
trying to
no,
get
you did.
confused. Okay, Mary, then swing it back to Mimi, Tex, and then Judge Sarah, and then that'll be it. And then I'm gonna close it out. Go ahead.
Good evening, Dana, and it's Miriam, but that's okay. You always call
Oh,
me
I'm sorry, Mary, because I just see the Mary, and that's how I just say the names. But the first letters I see Miriam. But okay, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta touch the profile picture, and they'll show you everybody profile. You got a right to do it. You run into space, but it's a lot to unpack. But I know you're about ready to get out of here. But since and how I haven't spoke, I'll try to be brief while touching upon a number of things that were said. Whew, to each its own and to everyone's opinion, but let it be rooted in facts and reality, and be historically correct with what you're saying, because other than that, it's reckless, it's delusional, and sure, you know, for someone to fix their mouth, and I'm not saying no one in particular, if the shoe fit, wears it. Let's not be sensitive. We're all adults and should be emotionally mature enough to handle whatever comes out of another person's mouth. If you say it, it's going to be a rebuttal. Respect it. Okay, thank you. To say that when you go in a Jewish community, Asian community, Mexican community, Dominican community, a Russian community, a Slavic community, whatever, to say that they doing it, why can't we do it? That is so ludicrous to me, because you already know our history. Number one, we've had thousands of Black streets, okay? Thousands of thriving communities that we got genocide on. Do you know what race massacres are? Please check it. And I do mean over 1,000. They like to say race riots. That implies on both behalf. No, it was race massacres. Okay? Literally. And then, secondly, when you have immigrant people here, be it for those who went through the naturalization, or be it those who are here on work visas, or be it those who are here illegally, they come in because they have assimilated 99.9% of the time to white supremacy. And I say that because it is a systemic system. It is a global systemic thing. You do not have to be Caucasoid to be a white supremacist. It is a mindset. It is an action. But the people who coined it, the people who created it, the people who started it are of Caucasoid descent, or Caucasian, for those who don't understand that. Okay. First and foremost, we're the only lineage and race of people who do not conform to white supremacy. Why? Because no one was enslaved the way we were. Everybody have experienced some form of slavery, but I'm talking about here. And if I hear another damn person talking about a white person was enslaved on these United States soil, I'm a scream, because they never were enslaved, okay? Indentured and slavery are two damn different institutions, and they work differently. And one is horrible and horrific and strip you of everything of who and what, okay? Not able to marry who you want, not able to keep your own children, forced into incest, forced homosexuality pushed upon us, forced rape, forced labor, into literally our bones, our muscles were worked from our bones. And then you have these damn immigrants coming in here talking about y'all lazy. You better get the hell out of here. We're not lazy. I dare you. We're the most employed and most educated group next to the white American. Okay? Because we're gonna get with it if you're gonna talk statistics and then you talk percentage. If it's only 1,000 of you and 50, let's say 50% of you are gainfully employed and doing this, to over 400 million, I mean 4 million, I would say more like you gotta at least times it times 3 when you deal with statistics that were done by the ruling class. because we know they're biased and we know that most of them are incorrect. Okay, first and foremost. So you're dealing with over 16 million foundational Black Americans. Yeah, I said it. Because we are already here. We were already here, and some of our ancestry comes from chattel slavery. Yes, so we are a very unique people. And I don't care what acronym you put in front of you or what you want to identify as, you're Black American. And I like to use foundational because it's unshook and it's not going after what someone else say or what they believe. It's what I research and it's what I know to hold true. And I know that it holds up against any argument or any philosophy on the planet. And I'm willing to go there. I'm a great debater. Yes, I am. Furthermore, we cannot get lost and caught up what another group is doing because they all have agreed to be agreeable or the idealistic citizens of this country. They have assimilated. They have no problem with it. Why? Because they are getting tangibles. They get benefits. They get grants. They get a leapfrog and a hand out and a foot up and everything else ahead of us. Okay? First and foremost. And I don't want to hear a damn thing about affirmative action. Affirmative action started off innocently and for a certain point and where it was taken to get it, but it got co-opted and corrupted a long time ago. The biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action are white women and immigrants, not Black people. Okay? So they could get up off our backs with that bull crap. Everything we fought for, bled for, lost sleep over, lost lives over, lost our health and everything damn else over to achieve anything in this country, especially dealing with civil rights, dealing with humanity, dealing with equality in this country, has been co-opted and it's moved towards a new America. Do I need to tell you that? Look it up, research it. And or for any and everybody but us. We do not have friends, okay? We do not have allies. Now, I'm not talking about those immigrants who are on code. It's some out there, but they are few in between. I'm talking about the most of their relatives that they sit in right at the dinner table with, lay down with, go to school with, is raised with, neighbors and other colleagues of their lineage. Do not mess with us, first and foremost, so get it through your heads. We can have mutual respect across the board, but I only respect a man and woman no matter what their race is, culture is, or sex is, only if you are given that same respect. And everybody who comes here, damn near throw shit at us as if they have that right, with their noses up and looking down at us and talking down to us. The damn audacity. Because if it not for me and my ancestors, especially my ancestors, you wouldn't even be in this damn country. The first wave of immigration were all white. Understand that. And they slaughtered a lot of
Mary, I'm gonna need you to land your plane. Okay, I gotta move on.
That's not true. And they slaughtered a lot of our ancestors when they first got here. And then, of course, you all know what happened with chattel slavery. But I'll rest my case there. We just have to keep our heads together and keep strong and give each other grace and try to work together. There is a way to it, but we definitely need our reparations. Why? Because it's a debt owed. You know, it was a wrong done to us. And it was contracts and treaties and Lord knows what else, never that was followed through. So it is owed to us, just like they gave it to the Jewish community, the Japanese community, and other communities. We deserve what we deserve, and it's not a damn handout. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, I want to go to Judge Sarah. I see two people requesting. I need to close this space out. And I think, and I'm sorry, can I just say stop coming off your mic? Stop. I'm not doing that. You're not going next. I'm going to Judge Sarah. Everybody, and I think with the people that are coming in now, if I don't request you to come up because I see you requesting, my apologies, because it's been 3 hours and Twitter space does not indicate how long a spaces currently have been on. You just see the time afterwards. So the 6 o'clock is literally we're approaching on a 3 hour mark. and I don't really like to go over 2 hours, but it's like I knew I was going to end up. I said I was going to end it at 6. So I'm not going to bring up any more requests. I'm gonna let Judge Sarah speak, and then I'm just going to close it out from there because it's too late. It's been 3 hours. That's all I'm saying. And I think what I'm going to start doing, and I appreciate everybody that's here in the space. I don't know what happened to the judge. He hasn't texted to let me know what happened, if he was coming back up. But I think what I'm personally going to start doing is just having more spaces with conversations that are, going on in this nation and internationally. So go ahead, Judge Sarah.
Thank you, Dana. I came in kind of later, and I kind of want to just comment on, can Black Americans achieve success together? Of course we can, but it begins with our values and respect for each other and a dedication to each other. I don't want to take too much time because I know you want to go, but there's a lot of things running through my mind. Someone came in the room, and I think they're in New York. I grew up in New York City too, but I'm in LA. And they said, I know you're going to get mad when I say this. And, honestly, guys, I'm kind of over this area's Twitter because it's sad, it's saddening, and it's very depressing for me. We're not going to win if we don't think we can win. We need to stop looking in other people's lane and stop comparing ourselves to other people. We're smart enough and we're good enough. The problem is we don't have the proper values and respect. I go in a room and I try to talk about how we're going to win. And people come for me, they don't want to fight and argue and attack me, bickering, but demeaning each other, talking crazy to each other. It's not because they got their foot on our neck. It's because we got our foot on our necks. We need to take our foot off each other's necks. I'm sorry. What upset me the most is when he said, I know people are going to get mad. And when I speak, I see people putting they down, the down finger, da 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 da. And then, because you Black like me, I love you and I want you to win. But then common sense comes in, reality comes in. They losing because they don't think they can win. They losing because they point fingers at everybody fucking else instead of looking them in the mirror saying, why ain't I winning? How we going to win? We're going to win when we start loving and respecting each other and putting each other first. And I'm going to say this, and I'm really hesitant. My daughter lives in Williamsburg. My daughter fucks with Jewish people. Okay? She lives in a $7,000 apartment. And her roommate ain't college educated. She's Jewish. We pay $40,000 a year for her education. Yet her roommate, who's Jewish, has a higher position and can afford where she lives, and she's not educated. And so what am I going to do? So what do I attribute that to? Because they stick together and they fuck with each other, period. And that's the difference. You understand? I mean, I'm upset because I come to this room and I want to build, I want to win. But I get attacked about bullshit. And then we wonder why the other man is winning and why we losing. Anyway, then I appreciate that. I'm emotional because I'm angry because my brother said, I know y'all going to get mad. And those who getting mad when he telling the truth, that's why you losing. You losing because you don't think you can win. How you going to win if you think you're going to lose? How you going to win if you just think that you can't win? Everything is stacked against you. How the fuck do you win? And I'm going to say this, and it upsets me. My daughter did her whatever, her school dissertation or whatever thesis on what is it? Gentrification. She grew up in the suburbs of LA. She lived in New York. She goes, oh, mommy, it's systematic poverty. Mommy, it's systematic. They can't do anything. It's systematic. We driving to her graduation, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, the fuck you mean it's systematic? They can't do nothing. She grew up, she believed in this liberal shit that we can't take care of ourselves, that we can't pull ourselves out of this. We pull ourselves out of this by sticking together, fucking with each other, not being jealous and angry and attacking each other and bickering over some bullshit. I'm sorry, because I'm tired of losing. They not better than us. I know that. They're not better than us. So if you think that, you need to stop thinking that. I appreciate it, Dana. I'm in there.
Okay. I don't know. I see the judge listening. I don't know if he could hear. I don't know if he could. I sent him a request. I don't know. I don't know what is going on. But let me see something.
Dana, if I may, you
Judge
may
must
have
have
to
said
drop
something that
down
had
a
Negro in it.
You may have to drop down a few speakers, Dana, and that way he can probably come up.
No, that's not it. There's something else going on because no phone service at all for some reason. I seem to have been on, but couldn't hang up nor redial. No, you were not on. You weren't on at all. Hello?
Hi. I don't.
Where were you at that
I
whole
was
time? Like I
trying.
was calling and texting you.
I see you were texting me. I couldn't get anything at all on this phone, and it's showing I couldn't hang up from this call until.
No, you weren't. You weren't on the Twitter space at all.
Well, it was.
You were muted for a while, and then it's like that's. And then I said this was like an hour ago, and I was like, Judge, are you there? And I didn't hear anything. And then you just dropped off, and then I was calling you. You didn't pick up, and then I'm texting you. There's no reply.
I didn't get anything at all. It was just dead. But on my end, it was showing I was still on this Twitter space, but I couldn't manipulate it to hang up.
No, yeah, you weren't on the Twitter space, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh, God
damn. And then I saw you in the audience and you didn't request. And then just now I saw you and then you dropped off and then I saw you again. I was like, well, let me request for him to come up because I didn't know if you wanted to come up and speak or if you could. So,
well, I've been trying to get back into this mix for the last hour, I guess. Jeez.
Yeah, because like I'm texting like, what is going on? Are you okay? Like, let me know.
Tell the judge next time he can shut his phone off, restart his phone. That might work.
Yeah, you probably gonna have to do that because the first text you said, I know you had I don't want to tell people your business, but you had a stalker problem.
I thought that might have had something to do with it, like somebody went out here and cut the lines or something. But
so no, I'm looking at my text, and this is like in the beginning of the space. And then all of a sudden, when I don't hear from you, like you were quiet, and then you drop off, and I'm calling, I'm texting, like, where are you? Are you okay? And I'm like, why he not responding? Why he not picking up? And I'm like, don't tell me it's the damn stalker. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what it was, but that's a good idea about cutting the phone
so
off.
I think
rebooting.
Listen, maybe somebody need to be put in a chokehold.
Hey, I can do that. I've done it actually. Last time I did it was in 2012, February.
We did good. Like, thank you to all the speakers, everybody that followed me, follow the judge and supporting the judge. We did really good the last hour. It's been 3 hours, so I didn't know if you just want to close it out now. Or if there's something else you wanted to say.
Well,
it was a good conversation that we were having earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what you wound up with, but on the original topic, just we can work together, but we have to understand that the effort, the task is ours, nobody else's. You don't ask, you do. And hell, they even say it's a universal thing. Look at John Wick. If you're scared of dying and what you want is not worth dying for, you won't get it. So you have to be willing to make these kind of sacrifices. Remember, the people that you're worried about, their motto was give me liberty or give me death. I regret that I have but one life to give for my country. Better dead than red. All kinds of things like that. And we need to start adjusting our way of thinking so we can comprehend that. Because if we don't, we'll be dead soon enough anyway, and quite often dead by somebody's hand who looks like us that ought to be an ally rather than a mortal enemy. So look at things more broadly, and we can do it. We can do it.
All right. So, what's today is Tuesday. This was a good conversation. I may myself do a Twitter space either tomorrow or Friday, like just a part 2. So, because we started at 3 and people are usually still at work. And then I noticed more people were requesting like around the 5 o'clock mark. And that's when people, off work by then. So I get it. And I don't think a lot of people knew that we were on for 3 hours. So people who requested and I didn't bring you up, I do apologize. It's just that it's been 3 hours and I don't want to make this like a marathon. So I will do like a part 2 to this either tomorrow, or definitely Friday. I'll probably just hold out to Friday or maybe tomorrow because Wednesday is usually a light day. And if the judge has time tomorrow, I don't know what schedule's like, he could hop on. But so yeah, so I'll pick this up tomorrow. Follow me here on The Real Dana #7. Definitely follow the judge at Judge Joe Brown TV on Twitter. And he's running for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. So it's very important that you guys go and support. Go to his website, jjb2023.com, and sign up to the mailing list and donate. You could donate straight from on the website, or you could go right to his Cash App at $ Judge Joe Brown 2023, $ Judge Joe Brown 2023, and that's Cash App $ Judge Joe Brown 2023. And thank you to all the speakers from the beginning to the end. I really appreciate you guys, and I will be following you back. And keep your notifications on for the next Twitter space. So everybody have a good night.
Don't judge him, Joe Brown.